Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria. If you watch this video and you enjoy it, don't be shy, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Today we're going to get into that question that we all ask at the beginning of healing from narcissistic abuse, and that is, how long is this healing process going to take? Whether you've asked this question to someone yet or you've just thought of it in your mind, you know the answer we usually get, at least I know I did, was the healing process is different for everyone. No one person is going to heal at the same rate as someone else. Well, I think we already all know that. But I'm just here to explain to you how my healing journey went so that maybe you can get a reference as to what are some of the things that you might go through on your own. If you didn't watch it as of yet, I have a video on my channel called My Story of Narcissistic Abuse, and it will kind of explain to you what I've gone through in terms of my narcissistic relationships, but that's only a fraction of my experience with narcissistic abuse. So in 2017, when I got out of my first narcissistic, emotionally abusive relationship, I took 2 years, and in this 2 years, I thought I was healing. You know, I was in talk therapy, but it was not with a therapist who was trained in trauma. I didn't even really know that narcissistic abuse was trauma, to tell you the truth. I did watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I educated myself on those nitty-gritty, you know, the narcissist is evil videos. So I had that under my belt, but really all that did was just scare me. And I walked around thinking, is this person a narcissist? Is this person a narcissist? And I just really couldn't differentiate between a normal person on the street and somebody that was going to hurt me. And I know I'm not alone in that. A lot of people that go through narcissistic abuse start questioning in their minds, is this person in my life a narcissist? Is this new person I'm dating a narcissist? And this is kind of what life was for me for 2 years, until I got to the point where I said, you know what, I want to date again. You know, like I want to move past this stage in my life. So I kind of made myself jump on online dating and start dating again. All right. And so still in my mind, I'm very aware of narcissistic abuse, and I am hyper aware of what could happen and what the signs of a narcissist are as I am going into this new relationship. So I just wanted to lay that a part of the storyline down for you so you understand that it was 2 years in between my two relationships where I didn't take the appropriate time to heal, because you know what, I didn't even know what healing looked like. Okay, I didn't know there were people out there that specialized in support groups for narcissistic abuse, that there were coaches that specialized in narcissistic abuse. I just didn't. I didn't know how extensive this was. This like digging into your past. I didn't understand all of that. Okay, so fast forward in the end of 2019, when I got into my next relationship, like I said, I was very hyper aware of narcissistic abuse. That relationship, it didn't, you know, last very long, but it was yet another narcissistic relationship which left me in shambles. It was terrible when it ended because I was so hyper aware of what a narcissist was, but you know, there are different types of narcissists out there. So because my core wound inside was not healed, I was still attracting the same type of people. I just didn't know. So after this relationship ended and I was having a really hard time, I started doing research, of course, again on narcissistic abuse on YouTube. And I found myself watching some of the same videos again, and I ran into a life coach who specializes in narcissistic abuse. And I noticed there's a whole healing journey, you can partake in and go on to heal from this. I saw that she had a support group of different people that were going to meet on Zoom and discuss their ideas and just experiences with narcissistic abuse. So I joined a support group. So a support group is a great first step for you to step out and ask for help. Because there are so many of us out here that have gone through the same things that you've gone through. And then unfortunately, healing from narcissistic abuse is so isolating, and there are so many of us that have gone through it. So I would highly recommend joining a support group for this. Anyway, so I joined a support group for 3 months, and during those 3 months, I didn't join this group and then just feel, I feel great. I was having symptoms of CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm having emotional flashbacks daily. I'm flashing back to that first very severe relationship that I had in 2017 and thinking about how that compared to this last relationship. I am having toxic shame. I'm thinking terrible things about myself. I'm not good enough. I am not smart enough. I am damaged. I'm never going to get better. My mind is not going to heal. My heart's not going to heal. I'm having this negative inner critic. I am abandoning myself. I'm ashamed at and thinking like, what is wrong with me? So like I said, I'm having symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Whereas after the first relationship ended, I didn't know what CPTSD was. If you haven't researched CPTSD, I recommend that you do. And I have an entire playlist on it on my channel if you want to check that out. So after the 3-month round of support groups that I had joined, I decided to do it again. So another 3-month round of these support groups, I noticed that as we were digging into the nitty-gritty of what had happened in all of our past and comparing stories, that narcissistic abuse is so cookie cutter. So people have the same stories over, and it's like hearing the same thing over and over. And as I really dug into it, I started realizing this didn't just show up in my relationships. This stemmed from childhood. This didn't just show up in my life and boom, I randomly had 2 narcissistic relationships in my adult life. This stemmed the whole way back from, before I can even remember. So because when you heal from narcissistic abuse, so much comes up. I didn't realize that it was categorized as trauma. So when the trauma starts surfacing, which is healthy and what you want it to do, you want to feel your feelings during this process. When these feelings come to the surface, it's actually more painful than the actual trauma itself. Because not only have you already gone through the trauma, but now you're trying to reprogram your subconscious mind, and you need to remember what happened, the feelings, feel it in your body all over again, and communicate, talk about it, sit with your feelings, and not hide those feelings anymore, right? You have to face them. So I started noticing in the next 3-month group that this is painful. This is a process that is not just going to go away. I'm not just going to blink and I'm going to be in a healthy relationship again. This is something that had been incorporated in my life since I was a child. So during these 6 months of support groups, I still was having this anxiety. I would still go on walks every day and basically be having panic attacks. I would be having the compulsive thoughts. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm never going to get a good job. I'm not worthy of this. I am flawed. I'm broken. I'm not going to find love. This is normal. That's really unfortunate, but that's something that's normal in the healing process of emotional abuse. So even though I was seeking help, this is just bringing the feelings to the surface, and now I'm really feeling them. So I'm doing a lot of journaling, a lot of diaphragmatic breathing, just spending time by myself, getting to know myself, feeling my feelings, being mindful. When feelings come up, I'm not just going and running errands. I'm sitting in them and I'm feeling them. So all of this is still going on as I am in this 6 months of support groups. At the same time, I found another support group that is for mental health because I was having issues with anxiety as well. And I just noticed the first support group worked so well. Why not join another one? So now I'm doing about 3 support groups a week with people. Really, I'm sharing my feelings and I'm being very open and very honest. And I'm completely okay with feedback, from anybody. I had never heard about validation before. Compassion, these things that, boundaries, words that just, they weren't in my everyday vocabulary. But while you're going through healing, these are some of the most important words to learn. The other very, very important thing during my healing journey was my faith. I couldn't have gone through that healing journey without having a higher power, right? Without having God, something above myself, something that I could feel the unconditional love that He provides me. So I had mentors at my church. And I was able to, again, be open and be honest with them and get their feedback and have them pray for me. I think being open and honest with mentors and people that can hold that space for you is really, really life-changing, to know that there are people out there that care about your mental health and your well-being. So finally, after all this time, what I decided to do in the end was go no contact. And that was the best thing I could have done. Going no contact helped me regulate my emotions, right? I now work with one-on-one with a therapist, as well as still having these support groups in my life and even adding more support groups to that. So, going no contact has really, like I said, helped me regulate my emotions and allows me to, my negative inner critic is almost gone. And the emotional flashbacks are very few and far between. If you would have told me I would have gotten to this point a year ago, I would not have believed you, because the pain from emotional abuse is astronomical when you're going through the healing process of trauma, right? You know that. I don't have to tell you that. And the end of my journey going no contact is what really started to help. After I went no contact, I forgave, guys. I forgave. And it might not be a popular opinion, because I do see a lot of videos out there and Instagram posts saying survivors of narcissistic abuse, do not shame them into forgiving people. And I don't think you should shame anybody into anything. But for me personally, I could not let the chains keep dragging me backwards. I felt like I was walking up a hill with 100-pound chains and like 5 40-pound weights on the chains. And I was trying to walk up this hill. And I wasn't trying to do that for the rest of my life. I had to cut the chains. So I had to forgive, and not just forgive, but like truly, truly forgive over and over again. One day I felt it and I wept, and I felt that feeling of unforgiveness completely leave my body. And that is when I felt free. So the process that I just explained to you took approximately, almost exactly 1 year. So if we compare this 1 year of healing compared to those 2 years from 2017 to 2019 that I went through the agony and thinking, is that person a narcissist? Is that person a narcissist? But not really healing, and then in turn getting into another narcissistic relationship. This is completely different. So yes, this healing process was much more painful. It was terrible. But look at where I am now. I've gotten to the point of forgiveness, and I can move on. I'm healthy, and I know who I am. I don't think even before I could tell you who I was as a person then. And that's not uncommon. I think a lot of us can't say who we are as a person, as simple as that is. But if you were going to ask me who I am as a person, I would say I'm extremely determined. I'm willing to do anything to better myself. I love to take care of other people and help other people. I love to help people through the healing process. I am kind. I am compassionate, right? So these are just things that are coming off the top of my head. I am not perfect, and there are parts of me that, can be toxic at times. I'm not perfect, but I'm working at it. I'm getting better. And so I just look at this 1 year of my healing journey and think, wow, look at how far I came and what I went through compared to those 2 years of not really even understanding what healing was. So if you were to ask, how long does it take to heal? Healing is in the process. It's not you're damaged and then you're not damaged. You're unhealed and then you're healed. It's you have things to work on, and you learn things along the way. At every stage, you're going to learn something else about yourself until you get to the point where you are healed. And with healed, I feel like that should be replaced with you have freedom of compulsive thoughts, and you feel a sense of peacefulness within yourself. The healing is in the process. It's not in the destination. Okay, guys, I hope this video helped you in any way possible. If you enjoyed it, don't be shy. Hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And as always, I wish you all the love in the world.